Okay, let's dive right in. In a world that's changing so incredibly fast, the very definition of intelligence is being completely rewritten. But it turns out there's one skill in particular that's becoming the new benchmark for leadership, for success, really for shaping our future. Let's explore what it is.
So what is it? What's the one skill that's going to matter more than traditional intelligence, even more than your IQ, in the very near future? And this isn't just some academic question. It's what leaders and educators all over the world are scrambling to figure out right now.
And the answer is cultural intelligence, or CQ for short. It's basically your ability to relate to and work effectively with people from totally different cultures. To help us really get our heads around this powerful idea, we're going to turn to the work of Principal Avreeayl Womack-O'Neil, an educator who has literally spent his career putting this skill into practice.
To really get why CQ is such a game changer, we first have to look at why the old way of thinking about cultural interaction just doesn't cut it anymore.
Think about that word for a second, tolerance. As O'Neil points out, it sounds like a good thing, right? But it's actually really passive. It kind of implies you're just putting up with a difference, just enduring it, instead of actually engaging with it and trying to find a real connection.
And this is exactly the shift O'Neil is talking about. It's this move away from the passive act of tolerating something and toward the active pursuit of understanding. It's basically the difference between watching from the sidelines and actually getting in the game. One is outdated. The other? Well, that's the future.
So this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually develop cultural intelligence? How does it work in the real world? Well, O'Neil offers a super clear and practical framework to do just that.
He calls it the 3 A's of leadership. First, you anchor. This means you have to be grounded in your own core values. You have to know who you are before you can understand anybody else. Then you adapt. This is all about being flexible and genuinely open when you're in a new cultural environment. And finally, you advance, using that foundation to lead your team forward with total transparency and real collaboration.
And O'Neil's own career is pretty much the perfect example of this in action. His 15-year journey took him from the US to China and now Singapore. That was his real-world classroom, and it taught him a massive lesson. Leadership is not one size fits all. What works in Los Angeles, it just might not translate to Shanghai.
But okay, how do you actually teach this stuff in a classroom? How do you get the next generation of leaders ready to be culturally intelligent? This is where one of O'Neil's most amazing initiatives comes into play.
It's a program called Classrooms Without Walls. And the name really says it all, doesn't it? The whole idea is to take learning outside of the school building and drop it right into communities all across Asia. This is education in practice, not just in theory.
And the goal here it's huge. It's about redefining the entire purpose of education. The whole program is built on this belief that real, lasting learning isn't just about passing tests. It's about building real human connections and solving problems across borders.
So let's zoom out one last time and look at the big picture. This focus on cultural intelligence, it's not just a trend in education. It is fast becoming the new global standard for what it means to be an effective leader in any field.
So what does all this mean for leadership? Well, it means recognizing that diverse perspectives bring unique, incredible value. It's about accepting that there's no single leadership model that works everywhere. And most importantly, it's understanding that empathy and active engagement, they aren't soft skills anymore. They're absolutely essential.
So really, this is the main takeaway. This active, engaged, and culturally aware way of leading isn't just some ideal to strive for. It's the new baseline. It's the new standard for global leadership.
And look, this isn't just for CEOs or school principals. This is for anyone living and working in our super connected world. So the final question isn't really about them. It's about you. Is your CQ ready for the future?